Most fishermen have curly tails, paddle tails and jerk baits, soft plastics in their tackle box. But the biggest mistake is they all seem to fish them the same way. All these plastics with their different tails, they're built for different jobs. And let's get into it. Paddle tail plastics are really good to use when fish are active. When the fish are active, these are a great one to use. Okay. And the next thing is they're actually really good to use when the water's a bit murky. If you've got dirty water, or it's a bit green or a bit murk or stirred up from wind and chop or whatever, these are really good to use. Reason being that they've got such a big soft tail on them. These put out a lot of action, and that's a lot of vibration and stuff in the water. So you don't need a big action with your rod for these things to work well. Another thing with paddle tails are, apart from catching a variety of species offshore and inshore, they'll catch fish pretty much everywhere, these things. They come from quite small to like 3 inch up to big ones like this, and bigger. They can get 6-8 inches. Quite big, with a nice big soft tail. But you can rig them a couple of different ways. That's the beauty with plastics, and works really well with these paddle tails. If you're down south, say like New South Wales, Victoria stuff, and you're using big plastics like this, you want to use them with a jig head, because you're going to be hopping along the bottom and slow rolling like along the bottom, looking probably for dew, like mulloway. Further up the coast in New South Wales, southern Queensland, sort of area, in Victoria, for big flathead. Once again, hopping along the bottom, just a slow wind, a couple of twitches, bouncing along the bottom. Great for big flathead, big dew, things like that. And when you come up here to the tropics, most of us rig them up on these weedless hooks, or worm hooks, as you can see in this one, as I've got there. Okay, and these ones we don't hop along the bottom. These are basically we cast out and just a very slow wind, like just a slow roll. Let the tail do the action, and you can cast them up in amongst the mangroves and the snags around pylons and stuff when you're looking for Barra, jacks, queenies and stuff like that. Trevally, all these species will eat these things, and you just got to give them a slow wind, let the tail do the action. So paddle tails are one of the easiest ones to use, probably one of the most popular ones to use, and you can rig them up a couple of different ways depending on the species and where you are. Okay. Okay, let's have a look, see what's next. Next we got here are your curly tails. Some people call them grub tails, and these will come from quite small to rather large as well. And this one's a Z-Man. And I like my curly tails. These are one of my favourite lures. I like using these. But I actually find these best when the water's temperature's cold and fish are really lazy. Because with your curly tails, being such a long tail and you've got a lot of action into them, you don't need to put much into them. You can really slow down your retrieve of these things. So when the fish are cold or they're very lazy and they're not overfeeding, they're quite sluggish, curly tails come into their own. They actually, I find them better than the paddle tails. Paddle tails are great, all rounders, but when fish are really sluggish and not feeding well, curly tails, they're very good for. You just slow the action down with them, and they work so well. So they've got their own action in the tail, and you just slow right down and do longer pauses with them. And I find them very good for that. And also they're really, really good for bottom dwellers. So if you're looking for, once again, mulloway and schoolies or something with this sort of size lure, flathead, these are my favourite flathead lures. These are deadly on flathead. And you can just hop them on the bottom like hop, and then just let them sit and let the tail do the action, and then just slight hop and work them really, really slow. I find grub tails really good. And the biggest mistake we're going to see with grub tails here is, I talked about this a couple of nights ago, of people just overworking them. Like I just explained, very, very slow. You slow right down with grub tails and let the tail do the action and bounce them along the bottom. You can put a worm hook on these, or a weedless hook if you want, and cast them out and slow roll them along the surface, but all the tail does is just twist like this, and I don't find them as good. If you want to fish like that, go back to your paddle tails to slow roll and let the big wide tail have the action. And it looks more like a realistic and more like a fish if you're slow rolling along the surface. These things are better for bottom dwellers with the jig head bouncing along the bottom. They really are. But just you don't have to go super fast with them. And they're really good on reef species too. If you drop these with a decent jig head down out in the reef with a bit of current, you can just teabag them and they'll get eaten because the tail's got the action. Or you can put a light jig head in and let them go down and let the tail spin, and you'll be surprised the things will eat it. The only thing I like about these, I found a lot, if you put a light jig head on and you want to try them for snapper and they're going down slowly, with their tail spinning like this, if there's tailor in the area, tailor just chop them in half. That's the downside. But running in beach gutters, in rivers and stuff, these are probably one of my favourites. These work really well and slow down your action with your curl tails, and they do work very, very well. Okay. Now we're going to get to this one. This is a jerk shad, and this is a main one I see people mess up all the time. First though, they cast it out and they rip it back in, winding it really fast, which can trigger a reaction bite, especially if you're casting into a school of tuna or something, maybe. But these are, you're meant to get these acting more like a dead bait fish. It's the whole idea of these things. So once again, you can rig these with like a worm hook or a weedless hook, or you can put a jig head on them. But if I use a jig head on these, I use a light jig head, so it's slow sinking. Okay. And the whole idea of these things work really well in clear water. When the water's really clear, go natural colours, clear water, and when there's lots of bait around. So the whole idea of this thing is cast it out, and with your rod, this is where you got to put action to this one. This one you got to work it. Okay, you just don't want this in. You give your rod like 1, 2, 3, like a couple of quick rips, and this thing will dart side to side, and then just fall off. If you've ever seen a bait fish dying, you'll see them like kick and dart off, and then they just glide down. Or kick and dart off, and then they just glide down. That's sort of the action you want to try and get out of these. You want to mimic a dying bait fish. That's what these are for. And if you're around bait schools busting up on the surface or on your sounder, you can see a bait ball. Let this thing go down and give it a couple of rips occasionally so it darts off and then just glides off, sinks. Try and get it to act like a dying bait fish. That's the whole idea of your jerk baits. Don't just cast them out and rip them back quickly. It doesn't really work too well. And I've seen guys put these on the bottom and bounce along the bottom like for flathead. Yeah, you'll get the occasional one. Flathead aren't the brightest things in the world, but they're not really designed for it. They're designed to act. You're meant to mimic, try and mimic, do your best to mimic dying bait fish. That's the whole idea of these things. Okay, get them darting side to side and then just flipping off. Let them sink a little bit. Then couple of fast rips and let them glide and sink again. Act like a dying bait fish, and they work really well in clear water. And with the jerk baits, I'll be honest, I reckon these ones are better for offshore fishing. So around bait balls, when you're looking for, say, snapper, you're looking for your tuna, mackerel even love these things. Yes, they are teethy, and yes, they will bite them in half, but they do eat them. So if you've got a decent jig head on, there's a chance you'll get mackerel on them. You'll definitely get them bitten off. The tails get bitten off quite a lot, especially over summer. Trevally up here in the tropics, reef fish, if you're over the shallows reefs, up in the Great Barrier Reefs and the shallow reefs, jerk around, get it darting side to side and let it sink a bit. Trout and stuff will come out and smash these things. They're a good offshore lure. Yes, they will work in rivers too, don't get me wrong, but I think they're better for offshore, but you can use them in rivers. So there's your three main tails and what we mainly use them for. So offshore, act as a diet, try and get your technique get down so this thing darts around and falls down or starts sliding down, can't speak now. Darts around and then starts gliding like a dying bait fish would. That's the whole idea of jerk shads. Your curly tails, once again, really good for bottom dwellers. So bounce, hop it along the bottom, but slow down your retrieval of these. Let the tail do its job. These things are really good, but slow them right down. And mainly in rivers and stuff, these are very good. They do work offshore, and quite good offshore, but I prefer them in the rivers. Then your good old paddle tails, the main one in plastics. This is the one most people buy and use. You can hop them on the bottom, okay, for a variety of fish, offshore and inshore, or you can put, like I said, weedless hooks on these and slow roll them just under the surface, looking for things like trevally, jacks, barra, up in amongst the snags. You can go cast these into the mangroves, okay, and that's really, really good. Or put a jig head on them and just hop them on the bottom, and you don't have to hop them fast, just a couple of little twitches, bounce them along and just let the tail wobble, okay. And they're very good for a lot of species, and probably the easiest one of all of them to use. Oh, this one and the grub tail, probably your two easiest ones to use. Your jerk baits will take a bit of practice. So when you start using these, don't cast out a mile where you can't see it. Cast in close and do some techniques with your rod and see how this reacts. and just practice with it until you're happy with it and it looks like a dying bait fish. You're good to go. Or the closest you can get to a dying bait fish. And that's it. And before I sign off, I'm going to show you just the 2 hooks. So a lot of guys still come to the shop, they're a little confused. So jig head, just your normal jig head, you got your lead on the front. That's okay. That's your normal jig head. And what I'm talking worm hooks or weedless are things like this sort of shape. Okay, you can see and they come in 2 different ways. You got your springs here at the front and this one. Other ones have a bit of a kink at the front. They've got a bit of a kink. And if they're a little bit confusing for you, ask the guys in the shop on how to put them on. I'll take a plastic out and put them on the hook for you and show you. Once you see it, it's very easy. But if you haven't done it before, yeah, it can be a little daunting. But once you see it, it's fine. It's not that hard, okay? And they're really good for casting around shallows and really, snaggy territory, especially up in the tropics, looking at Barra and stuff. So yeah guys, hopefully that will help you out with your plastics. Instead of just going to the tackle shop, standing there and wondering which one I should buy, now you have an idea of which one's for, and it'll suit your fishing needs. All you've got to do is practice your techniques. Mainly slow them down, couple slow rolling, couple jerking, but depends on the species and where you are. Okay, so now you should have an idea of what one you're going to go buy. Go practice, have some fun, let me know how you go. And before I go, once again, don't forget about my new blog, Shannons Fishing. Description's down below. I've got PDFs and stuff, cheat sheets on there, so if there's something, go have a look at them. There's quite a few different ones now, so there might be something you need or pick up some hints and tips with. And the best part is that once you download it, it's on your phone, you can take it with you if you're fishing, so you won't forget the tips that's there in your pocket. Whether you've got internet or not, download it, good to go. And thanks for watching guys, I'll see you next week for another one.